live while the other survives. Is the quote from Harry Potter, and that's the truth there. Like, they need to get eliminated, and this is a good look for Klobuchar, but she is still 4 points down behind Mayor Pete, and she's going to be getting the least amount of delegates tonight out of the top three. So there is that to consider. Let's listen to the rest of this speech.
He is above it. Our collective sense of decency can't handle another 4 years of a president who doesn't care about it. Our democracy can't tolerate another 4 years of a president who wants to bulldoze right through it. And our American dream cannot tolerate a president that thinks he can choose who lives it. The president might as well have a sign on his desk that says, "The buck stops anywhere but here." He blames everyone. He blames, think about this, for anything that goes wrong. He blames Barack Obama. He blames the city of Baltimore. He blames the head of the Federal Reserve that he appointed. He blames the energy secretary that he nominated. He blames the city of Baltimore. He blames the entire kingdom of Denmark. Who does that? And
all right, Senator Amy Klobuchar taking something of a victory lap there. Looks like she's going to come in third.
Yeah. You can kind of really see what's going on there. She's taking a victory lap. She's coming in we're pretty much about to third place. So that is the situation there with Amy Klobuchar. And it shows you she's getting to kind of her canned jokes that she said about 60 different times now. But yeah, I think the biggest loser this night is Biden, and the biggest winner this night, well, that remains to be seen. 26.7 to 23.8 now is the lead for Bernie Sanders with 59%, almost 60% in. So it'll be interesting to see if he's able to down 2.8 percentage points to 54% reporting the New York Times side. So, yeah, we are looking at the forecast here. We'll play around with that a little bit as well and give you a better sense of what's going on there. The final vote now is way back to Bernie Sanders. He has a 59% chance of winning, but the range of forecasts is now down to the average of 1.7. So let's take a look at where the most votes are here for Sanders and Buttigieg and where the votes still remain. Now 38,000 votes remain for Sanders, 36,976 remain for Pete Buttigieg. Dover still has not come in yet in a big way, and more Manchester has come in at this point. 12 out of 12 precincts reporting in Manchester. Dover there still remaining. Claremont is still remaining. And yeah, those are some of the biggest hotspots. Merrimack seems to be the biggest place remaining for Pete Buttigieg at this time. So it looks like that Bernie Sanders is going to win this, not by a terrible amount, but nothing has been called yet. So we'll be following this as it continues to play along as we reach about 10 o'clock and get ready for to begin our third hour of coverage. So thank you so much for staying with us here tonight. The latest is 60% in as we reset the field, 26.7% to 23.8%. Sanders over Buttigieg in the very close race right now. Klobuchar also at 19.9% with Warren at 9.3% here as we continue to cover the situation. Senator Bernie Sanders, though, he's been reluctant to attack his fellow Democrats during the campaign, but has found strategic places to deliver key blows. Up until the Iowa caucus, Sanders has all but pretty much ignored Pete Buttigieg, the former mayor of South Bend. That changed after Buttigieg's strong performance. Sanders waited several days after the polls in New Hampshire showed a Buttigieg surge, and then on Friday, Sanders laid into Buttigieg and his wealthy donor base. He continued the attack in a series of TV interviews and on the debate stage. that night. So if Sanders is able to hold off Buttigieg, that strategy could play a part in his victory. It looks like the average of polls coming into this, if you go to the Real Clear Politics poll average here, with Sanders by 7. It doesn't look like that's going to be it's probably around like 3 is my final prediction here for Bernie. Yeah, but Buttigieg, he surged a lot. It's going to be interesting to see how he handles this result here. And it looks like he will come down by just a little bit. Sanders also, by the way, within striking distance in Nevada, and Biden looking much better in South Carolina. And yeah, so that is that's the way it stands right now. And how much of the delegates he will manage to get out from this will be interesting. So yeah, we're going to continue to update. We'll pretty much go here until the race gets called. Bernie Sanders commands now 26.7% of the vote to 23.8% of Pete Buttigieg, with 59% of the precincts reporting. Yeah, so that is what we have going on for you. This is funny. Deval Patrick says he's going to take a look at the results today in New Hampshire and then make a final decision about the future of his campaign in the morning. His campaign tells NBC News. So it's very, very, very sad. We don't like to see that with poor Deval. Yeah, and Patrick literally may lose now to people no longer in the race or written in, which is funny. Yeah, that is very, very, very funny. It looks like, Dave Wasserman of the Cook Political Report, U.S. House editor, says that Bernie Sanders is the winner of the Democratic Party. The best news for Sanders could be that the second and third place finishers, Buttigieg and Klobuchar, are uniquely ill-equipped to parlay their strong NH showings in South Carolina and Super Tuesday contests. So that is the projection from Dave Wasserman. Folks on CNN can't call that, but hopefully we should get some more of a projection soon. Now 26.5 to 23.8. Sanders is up over Buttigieg, la rata. How do you say the rat in Spanish? Yeah, I'm going to translate that real quick. The rat. La rata. La rata. Pete Buttigieg, la rata. En Español. Le rat en français. Let's do more differently. Portuguese. Orato. Let's do in Hebrew. He is. That's how you say it. What you can do. Okay, I don't know how to read Hebrew. Sorry. Dutch. Derat. But I like la rata for Spanish better. Yeah. So Sanders now with almost a 60% chance to win the primary. As we look into what's going on here. Yeah, 60% chance to win in primary for Bernie Sanders. The delegate count still has pretty much not changed. He is at 9%. He's quite likely to win or tie in the delegate count. So, yeah, that is how it stands so far. When at least in the New York Times forecasting, and that's how it works. So Sanders now looking like he will win. But the question is how much. It likely won't affect the delegate count, but that is what we will look at as this night plays out. So, yeah, so it really is. The race is split between two centrists so far. The next couple of states will split between two other centrists potentially, but the base of Bernie remains steady. Tom Steyer and Joe Biden in Nevada will likely be the two who are splitting these votes. So it's what we like to see. It's really what we like to see. Let's see what else is going on here. And it is going to be interesting to see what happens when Bernie gets his victory rally. What I want to see tonight, folks, I want to see that blue check mark next to, or that white check mark, whatever kind of check mark that is, Bernie Sanders. I want to see that check mark next to his goddamn name, because it's about time. We got to see that time. We were robbed of that moment in Iowa. We were robbed of that victory. All hell broke loose, and it is about time. We are going to see that. Like, we need to see that, folks. It's about time. All right. Yeah. All that stuff we are following, I think, very, very interestingly today. Keeping you posted of what's going on. Doesn't look like any of our... Everyone say prayer for James Stanley. Hopefully he gets better soon with the flu. We'll have him on for the next podcast. Yeah, it's just so funny though. I think one of the biggest, funniest things tonight is James Carville, this political genius. Everyone's taking his political genius. He started campaigning for a man approximately 16 hours before he dropped out. Like, I mean, at least coordinate with the guy to stand for a little bit longer. I mean, that would be nice. I mean, wouldn't it? Yeah, so that is the reality of the situation today as we continue to watch these results play out. As the race continues to tighten, hopefully we see that widen a little bit before the day ends. 26.4 to 23.9. Sanders and Buttigieg with 64% in. And, yeah, that is what we continue to watch. All right, so yeah, Senator Amy Klobuchar, by the way, also possible. Will they form some sort of a unity ticket? We don't know. That could be an interesting political strategy. As my friend Elizabeth noted earlier tonight, people told me, just like they told her, that they didn't think a woman could be elected. In my case, it was elected to the U.S. Senate. No woman had ever done it before, but I came back. I defied expectations and I won, Klobuchar said. I don't think she was the first woman elected to the U.S. Senate, but during a speech in front of supporters earlier tonight, Elizabeth Warren also acknowledged Klobuchar, who is currently polling in third place. And I want to congratulate my friend and colleague Amy Klobuchar for showing just how wrong pundits can be when they count a woman out, she said to applause. We played and discussed for you a little bit earlier in the show. Yeah, let's take a look at what is going on here. Is this margin, I think, for Bernie Sanders is going to be very, very interesting to watch here. Sanders now leads Buttigieg 2.1% with 59% of the votes coming in. Some big stories. Klobuchar's strong showing. I don't think that was too. Where was she in the polls before this? She was 10 points behind Klobuchar in the. Behind Buttigieg in the poll average, 10 points. So that's pretty substantial there, and very, very close to Warren. It was debatable about who was going to come where, but it really seems like Klobuchar's outperformed, and it looks like Buttigieg has outperformed a little bit but by not as much. So we're going to continue to follow that there and find out what is going on. Yeah, it looks like 26.4 to 23.9 is how it stands right now for Sanders and Buttigieg. It's pretty much the only one I'm really focusing about at this time. And just scrolling through Twitter right now, and I just saw a pretty funny tweet from Simone D. Sanders. Hello, South Carolina. That's the Biden campaign's mindset right now. Here's Cenk Uygur talking about the results of tonight. It'll be interesting.
The Obama officials that went to Warren's campaign and ruined it might have saved Bernie Sanders' chances here and might get us a progressive president. Because...
let's call him by name, by the way. It's Joe Rossbars. And if Elizabeth Warren doesn't fire him this week, she's out of her mind because he's ruining her reputation for the progressive senator that she is.
I didn't know he had a name. I'm so glad because I was like, who is the person behind the... Okay, got it.
By the way, almost every progressive would give you that same name, and part of the reason why I endorsed Bernie Sanders instead.
So that's what's going on with the Young Turks tonight. And there's this guy, I never heard of Joe Rossbars. Joe Rossbars, this former Obama guy. And this whole idea of, and Roger Lau's